The North remembers. We know no king, but the king in the North whose name is Stark.
Hi guys, it's Fentony. This is going to be my full breakdown for Season 7 Episode 1 Dragonstone. I have done a review, but that was more about my first reactions after the episode. This one's going to go into full details and talking about the episode as a whole. If you've not seen this episode yet, don't watch this video as there's going to be a lot of spoilers. The opening scene is a cold open. It starts off at the twins, and Walder Frey is giving his family a feast. We knew this wasn't Walder Frey, as he was killed last season by Arya Stark, and Arya is actually wearing his face, and she's very different than Walder. Arya tells the Freys that are there, every Frey who means a damn, and calls them proper heroes for killing Robb, Talisa and Catelyn Stark. The Freys look uncomfortable, and they start spitting up blood as they've just drunk poison, but she actually stops his wife from drinking the poison. Arya says to them, "But you didn't slaughter every one of the Starks. No, that was your mistake. You should have ripped them all out, root and stem, leave one wolf alive, and the sheep are never safe." Arya does remove the Walder Frey face, and she tells the Frey servants, when people ask what happened here, tell them the North remembers. Tell them winter came for House Frey. Arya then meets some Lannister soldiers, and this is Ed Sheeran's cameo. The soldiers invite Arya to sit down and have dinner with them. She seems suspicious at first, as she's not a huge fan of Lannisters. I think this scene was there to show us that even though they are Lannister soldiers, they're not evil. The Brotherhood and the Hound are at a farm, and that is the farm that was owned by the farmer and the girl that the Hound stole from back in Season 4. The farmer and his daughter's bodies are there, as the farmer killed himself and his daughter to stop them from starving. The Hound feels guilty, as he believes they deserve better. The Hound is part of the Brotherhood now, but he still doubts the Lord of Light. He asks Beric Dondarrion why he keeps getting brought back, and why the Lord of Light is quite mysterious. Thoros asks the Hound to look into the flames. The Hound sees Eastwatch by the sea, and the White Walkers there. It looks like the Brotherhood will go there next. The Hound starts to bury the farmer and his daughter, and Thoros of Myr does help him out. Thoros, Beric and the Hound are definitely developing a bond, and them three characters are going to be great this season. We see the Army of the Dead. Jon said back in Season 6, the Night King brings a storm, and it seems like the White Walkers are cloaked in ice and mist. Perhaps the Night King has some sort of limited control over the weather around him. The Night King is up front, and you can see his blue eyes through the storm, but the biggest WTF is the White Walkers actually have white giants. The giants are able to lift the gate at Castle Black and smash through the Winterfell gate. Just imagine the damage that white giants will be able to do. Bran is up straight after the White Walker scene, and he's been using his powers. Is he warging, or has he actually seen this White Walker scene? And can he do that without a weirwood tree? Meera has dragged him to the wall, and the Night's Watch come out. Ed is the acting commander, or has there been an election? Meera tries to tell them who they are, but Ed actually doubts them and doesn't believe them. Bran mentions the fact that Ed was at the Fist of the First Men and Hardhome. Bran has definitely used his abilities as the Three-Eyed Raven to see this, and it was quite strange that Ed actually just believed him and allowed them to pass into the wall. It doesn't really prove that he's Bran Stark. At Winterfell, Jon is planning for the White Walkers. All the Northern Lords are there, and Jon wants the Maesters to look for Dragonglass. Jon says he's not the king of the free folk, but he does ask the wildlings to defend the wall, especially Eastwatch by the sea, which is the closest castle to Hardhome. Tormund will lead the free folk, and remember, that's where the Brotherhood are going next. Jon wants all the people of the North to be trained in combat, girl or boy. Not everyone is happy with this, especially Lord Glover. Lyanna Mormont steps in and basically tells him she may be a girl, but she will be fighting. Just like in Season 6, she makes a great speech and makes the other lords side with Jon. Jon wants the Carhold and the Last Hearth to remain with the Karstarks and Umbers, but Sansa wants the lands and the castles to be given to those that actually fought beside Jon against Ramsay. Jon won't punish the children for their father's mistakes, and he makes the children, Alys Karstark and Ned Umber, swear fealty to him. This is the start of the Jon and Sansa tension, and Jon feels that Sansa is undermining him in front of the Bannermen. Of course she can do it in private, but doing it in public, especially at a meeting, that's a bit too much. He is the king after all. Sansa even starts to say stuff like, will you start wearing a crown and act like Joffrey? But she does say Jon is the furthest person from Joffrey that she's ever met, but she tells him that he needs to be smarter than Ned and Robb. Jon does reply saying, and how should I be smarter? By listening to you? And Sansa does say, would that be so terrible? She's not wrong. I'm not a big fan of her not telling Jon about the Knights of the Vale, but they both have to listen to each other. Maester Wolkin, the maester who was working for the Boltons, brings Jon a message from Cersei Lannister, who tells Jon, bend the knee or else. Sansa does want Jon to take Cersei serious, but Jon is 100% focused on the White Walkers. I love the fact that Jon says that Sansa sounds like she admires Cersei in a way, and Sansa did say she did learn a lot from Cersei. Jon versus Sansa is being teased, but I don't think it's going to go as far as people think. Brienne's back at Winterfell, and she's sparring with Pod, and he gets his ass kicked, but I do think this is setting up Pod saving Brienne later on. Littlefinger is talking to Sansa, and he says he wants her to be happy. Brienne does come up, and Sansa says a great line. No need to seize the last word, Lord Baelish. I'll assume it was something clever. This scene was there to remind us that Sansa knows that Littlefinger controls the Vale, and she just can't get rid of him. She knows all about his plan to sit on the Iron Throne, but if she does get rid of him, they'll lose the Knights of the Vale, and without them, Jon would have never beat Ramsay. In King's Landing, Cersei has the map of Westeros painted on the floor. Jaime is still with her, but you can tell he's a bit shocked by what she did by blowing the Sept of Baelor up. Cersei asks Jaime if he's afraid of her, and Cersei brings up the fact that Jaime did let Tyrion go, which led to the death of Tywin. Cersei does know that Tyrion is working with Dany now, and she wants to prepare for that. Jaime does try to bring Tommen up, but Cersei's not comfortable with that. Jaime does feel they can't beat Dany's army, as they have no allies. Cersei though is already one step ahead, and they watch as Euron Greyjoy sails into Blackwater Bay. Euron comes in the throne room, and he tries to forge an alliance with Cersei. He does offer a marriage, but Cersei declines, as she knows Euron is good at betraying people. He did kill his brother Balon, and Euron does say to Cersei that she should try it. Euron was roasting Jaime this episode, and it's definitely setting up Jaime not trusting Euron, and that might be what causes Jaime to get pushed out the door and leave Cersei. Euron does leave empty-handed, but he says he'll be back with a gift for Cersei. This to me sounds like the Sand Snakes who killed Marcella, and I bet he plans to get Tyrion, but I think Tyrion will be safe. Euron was much better than he was at the King's Moot, and I loved how he was roasting Jaime. At the Citadel, Sam is cleaning up crap and doing all the messy chores. It looks like the pots that were used for the toilets were actually used for the food as well. We meet the Archmaester character played by Jim Broadbent, and him and Sam are dissecting a corpse. But all Sam really wants to talk about is getting into the restricted section of the library and finding more about the White Walkers. The Archmaester won't allow it, but he does believe Sam about the White Walkers. But he thinks the wall will actually stop the White Walkers, and they can't cross it. Yep, the wall is definitely coming down. But it is a valid point though, as how will the White Walkers cross the wall? It does have magic to stop them, but because this is building up the White Walkers, they have to cross the wall, and I think it will be this season. Sam does sneak into the restricted section using a stolen key, and he takes books, and he takes them back to his room with Gilly. We do see the cat's paw dagger that was with the assassin that tried to kill Bran, and could this be telling us how to forge Valyrian steel? And he goes to a page about Dragonstone and how it has a mountain of dragonglass. He writes to Jon, and no doubt Jon will go straight to Dragonstone. The cat's paw dagger has been seen on Arya in the promotional material, but I think there's more to it than that. If this is in the same scene as the scene of Dragonglass, this could confirm that Dragonglass plus Dragonfire plus maybe magic is the secret to forging Valyrian steel. Sam does meet Jorah Mormont in this episode, and his grayscale is getting worse, but all he cares about is if Dany has landed in Westeros yet. Then we go straight to Dragonstone, and Daenerys is on her way up to the fortress. Dragonstone itself looks incredible, and it's one of the best scenes visually, especially with the dragons flying about. Dany kneels down on the beach and touches the sand. It's the first time she's been to Dragonstone, and any part of Westeros, since her birth. Her and Tyrion do make their way up to the painted table, and the episode ends with her saying, "Shall we begin?" 3 words from Daenerys all episode, but this scene was more about visuals than dialogue. We didn't go to Essos this episode, and in my opinion, we probably won't again. It was more of a building episode, you know, there wasn't any major battles, or really any major deaths except the Walder Frey incident, but I do expect Season 7 will have a lot of epic stuff going on later on, and supposedly, the pace is meant to be very fast. You can watch my review, and it's basically me after the episode giving my first thoughts. At the time I've only watched the episode once, and I didn't plan on making a breakdown because it's not fair to make a breakdown having only seen the episode once. The next episode preview is out, and I will make a video on that tonight. So let me know what your favourite scene was, and how do you feel about the episode after some time has passed, and maybe you've watched it twice, maybe even thrice. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it, as that really helps me out. And if you want to stay up to date with all my season 7 videos, hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.